Hey everybody, Bruce Sweeney, founder of Simply for Life. I've been at the core of lifestyle nutrition for over 30 years and with Simply for Life for over 21 years. And for 10 years, I've really looked in depth and researched hormone, the endocrine output. And most of all, the last couple of months, I've signed up from a school of thought out of Germany and also from the Center of Integrative Medicine in the US to better myself on how to provide the right information. So my goal is for you ladies who really has helped me grow my business because you're always at the forefront of asking the right question, challenging authorities, and finding solution to live better, healthier, and longer. So over time, I will be reaching out to the men, but women tends to take more action. They take seriously much more the look of health and to influence the rest of the loved ones, so forth, so on. So today we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts about exercise. So some of the information might be controversial, so I will finish off with scientific validated data on the information I'm giving you, and that's the goal. The last couple of months I've been looking online, and there's excuse my language, a shitload of bullshit. Just doesn't make any sense. And some of you women are running so hard at trying to make a change and hitting a wall all the time. So I don't have the magic solution, but I do have tips and solution and reference to guide you in the right directions. So let's start with exercise because you know what? We're aging gracefully right now. We want to preserve muscle integrity. We want to preserve muscle tone, or we want to lose weight, or we just don't want to gain weight. We want to feel better. There's so many reasons to exercise, and exercise is champion to feel good. So number one rule: don't overdo the exercise. The days of being 25 and 32, they're over. So if you're signing up with these boot camps of high intensity exercise, great people, great trainer. But remember, you're in a different stage in your life. So having too much high intensity and long duration exercise will sabotage your progress and especially have an impact in a negative way on your hormones. I will describe later. Too long does the same thing. Exercising every day. We have this analogy that we have to exercise every day. You need restorative rest to recuperate. There was a point in time we could basically stretch it out and exercise every day. Now, I got to be really clean with you. I'm a big fan of moving 60 to 90 minutes per day, but moving 60 to 90 minutes a day is a whole different ball game as going on a treadmill and running as hard as you can or doing high intensity intervals, so forth, so on. So please don't misunderstand this message that I'm saying hit exercise is not good for you. There's a place and time for that. I'm talking about Peri and menopause. And never exercise when you have poor sleep. Sleep is meant to be restorative. And I know it's a catch 22 because many of you have an issue with sleeping or getting that deep REM sleep. But at the same time, you're running like a hamster wheel because it just makes things worse over time. So if you can have some easy quality of sleep, maybe you're not getting your 8 hours, then you can exercise. But if you really don't have that restorative sleep, it's absolutely negative on your body to really exercise hard. And one of the things that I keep hearing every day, still to this day, oh my God, I drank last night, I got to go sweat it off. Never exercise on a hangover. And you're banging your head on the wall, and you're figuring out why this is not working. Well, let's take a look at this. I'm going to take time to explain to you something I've known. And now that I've been able to team up with 8 of the top endocrinologists in North America to provide me solution and answer that I can give to you, I'm going to explain more in depth. First of all, over exercising, doing high intensity, or doing those boot camps, which are wonderful, but for some other individuals, and you have to tone it down, uh, gives you in a stage to have excess adrenaline and cortisol. We all know about our nervous system. We have the sympathetic nervous system. That's kind of the pedal to the fuel you going forward, and it's a fight or flight. But you also have the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps you recuperate, restore, rebalance some of your hormones. So, very important not to do too much exercise and too hard. because also it sabotage the ratio. We all know one topic you hear all the time, and I'm kind of getting amused by this because everybody likes to talk about ovaries, estrogen, and progesterone, which is fine, and I get it. But ratio, the sweet spot, is also very important. And when you over exercise, it has a huge negative impact on your neurotransmitter. And everything starts in the brain. So many people fail to talk about this. They seem to have all these cool solutions, and they really don't talk about the brain. Your hypothalamus, for example, starts sending message to your pituitary, and your pituitary starts sending message, whether it's your ovary, estrogen, so forth, so on. So your body as a whole has to talk to itself. It has to have all these signal in place, whether you're high or low. And what happens also, it has a negative impact on your thyroid. I'm going to challenge you. If you want to be honest, you don't have to really even reply to this. But when you're doing those really high intensity workout, killing it, you're doing workout, but for some reason things get stubborn. At first, you're seeing results. It's like drinking that glass of wine. You have a really good buzz, you're feeling good, but you drink the bottle of wine, next day you're feeling it. So that's what happens when you start exercising very hard because you want to lose weight, you want to get in shape and have muscle integrity. But it has an impact on your thyroid. And over time, you're starting to store more belly fats. But I would be surprised to see how many of you would be honest enough to say after 4, 5, or 6 weeks of doing those exercise in the shower, you're losing a lot of hair. When you're brushing your hair, you're losing a lot of hair. Your skin is dry. You're using all those lotion because you're working so hard at the gym. And again, if you learn to tone it down, which I'm going to describe after, we can remedy this. These are great tips. It has an incredible impact, and it's a very negative impact on your immune system. We're in a stage under our life that it's about prevention, living better, longer, and happier. So, over exercising and high intensity exercise and long exercise, too much of it over time will sabotage your immune system. And there's nothing more important in our immune system. Another thing, too, that they fail to tell you, and please don't start attacking your trainer. They're a wonderful trainer. I endorse all of them, but we're talking about peri and menopause and your hormones right now. It has a very negative impact on muscle mass. You start exercising, you reap the benefits the first 2 or 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden it doesn't feel right anymore. Your joints, and you feel that you're softer, it's not as toned. Well, you become in a zone that's called catabolic. You're starting to use muscle mass. You're losing muscle mass, as a matter of fact. So it has that negative impact on your body composition. Body weight stays the same, and I've seen many women that are not necessarily overweight but become skinny fat over exercising, and they can't put the picture together. And you start looking really at their hormones level, it starts sabotaging it. You're more prone for injuries. We've seen this over and over exercising at a certain time in age, and especially when you're peri and menopause, you're more prone for injuries. And at the same time, it makes it extremely hard for you to lose weight and very easy to gain it back. I've seen many people, they'll tell you, and it's hard because the first 2 or 3 weeks are getting the results. There's no if or buts, but it's 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks later, they really hit a wall. You can't lose no matter how hard you're trying. You're getting frustrated, and then you're saying, the heck with this. I can guarantee you, if you're honest with yourself, how many of you've lost 5 or 6 pounds in those weeks and you gain it back in a matter of a week? Why? Because most of it was water. For me personally, working with Claudine, and I have a few clients right now, they're at the menopause stage. All of these women's, they want to lose weight, and I got them really on board to lose an average of 5 pounds per 8 to 12 weeks. I'm totally okay with this. And I will explain you why it's so much more beneficial. And one of the things too, when we tend to over exercise it, at first we're alert, we're feeling good, and then we get more brain foggy. We're drowsy, we feel overwhelmed. So what to do? What is the best exercise? Now it's going to be tricky because if you're doing HIIT exercise, tone it down. You don't have to keep up with the 30-year-old or the 32-year-old or the 25-year-old. Tone it down. and exercise with some intensity. But some of the best exercise you can do is weight bearing exercise. And following underneath too, you'll have those links. Weight bearing exercise is a star for muscle integrity, bone density, overall health and wellness, good for cardiovascular disease also. And most of all, it's good for your metabolism and your immune system and your endocrine output. Those glands starts working, co-mingling in sync together. It really has some benefits. So weight bearing 2 to 4 times a week minimum. Go heavy on the weights, not like a power lifter, but heavy enough. Mix that with high intensity exercise, some spin class, and maybe some cardio, yoga, meditation, and always make sure to take a day off. Now, if you're a listener right now, you're saying, well, I walk an hour every day. You don't have to worry about walking. Walking does not have any impact on your cortisol. And cortisol is really good for you. It's absolutely wonderful. We need it. Some people have to take cortisol. The problem is when we overdo things and we're on that fight and flight state all the time, it has that impact to secrete more cortisol, and we have more cortisol in the afternoon and at night. Therefore, we have a harder time sleeping. We're feeling overwhelmed. We have anxiety. And restorative sleep is important. If you cannot get it, get that day off. And if you can take a power nap in the afternoon, go for it. It's good for you. But at the end of the day, it's finding that sweet spot. I cannot say enough how important it is. And you got to be careful what's out there. There's really good information, but there's a load of crap. So my rule is slower progress means steady progress. If you want to have steady progress, you know, Paris was not built overnight. Give yourself some time. What it will do, it will reduce your hot flash because over exercising again makes your hot flash worse over time. It's excellent for your mood. You won't feel overwhelmed. You won't feel that you have anxiety. You won't feel that you're panicking. You won't feel angry. It's good for pain reduction, weight bearing exercise too. Even in that first you're feeling the pain, cross the barrier of pain. I'm not talking about no pain, no gain. Over time, you will feel better. It's excellent for your heart, bone, muscle tone, and great for your immune system. There's so many benefits you get from exercise, but you just gotta make sure it's the right sweet spot. Just take the analogy of wine. A little glass of wine, oh, if we feel good, but we finish off that bottle of wine, we wake up in the middle of the night, next morning, we're not feeling good. Same thing with exercise. You have to really take it all in that we're aging gracefully, and there's nothing wrong with that. So these are my tips on exercise. Thanks for following. And I'm going to have all kinds of tips, whether it comes with supplements, are you taking the right supplements, or the do's and don'ts, which food you should have, when is the best time to eat, should you be doing intermittent fasting, what about ketogenic diet, what about paleo, and definitely the Mediterranean diet is a superstar. But I'm going to fulfill all those questions, and every time I'm going to finish off, I'm going to provide you the scientific journal or studies that I'm referring to, so you know that this is validated, this is solid, and most of all, I want to make a difference because anytime we have information that is validated, we can become a better version of yourself. So thanks for following. Pass a message around. Clinton says that she's going to have a really nice board in the back for me too, because she's not agreeing with my background right now. So next week, I'm going to have a tip on Peri and menopause. And I know I'm a male, but my job, and I'm studying hormones right now, is to provide you with the right material so you can make the right decision that fits with your lifestyle. Take care. Thanks for following. Bye bye.